A lot of us have fantasy football drafts as early as this week. So what I want to do today, I want to start with our team captains, the quarterback position, and give you guys some things to remember about this crazy offseason and when to draft these guys in 2024. Starting off here with some offseason quarterback notes, just 4 to 5 things to remember about how last season and this offseason went. For Patrick Mahomes, points per game over expected. When we look at this advanced statistic from 2 years ago in 2022, he was plus 2.9 in 2023. Last year, with the depleted wide receiver core, that dropped significantly. In 2023, the Chiefs offense, they had 385 air yards dropped. That is 100 plus more than the next quarterback. And I like to put this out there because if you cut that number in half, Mahomes goes from the quarterback 9 last season to the quarterback 3 to end the year. And then we go into this year with no questions about where to draft Patrick Mahomes. This is an offense that's added Hollywood Brown. They've added Xavier Worthy, right? Pacheco, Rashee Rice, and Kelce might only get better going into the season. Kelce might be a stretch, but you know where I'm going. This offense should be back. Patrick Mahomes should be back, and they should be fun to watch. Dave Canales is a quarterback magician. He's a quarterback whisperer, as some would say, because over the last 2 years as an offensive coordinator, he has brought out career years in Geno Smith there in Seattle, who was the quarterback 7 with him. And then last year, without Canales, he dropped all the way to a quarterback 21. In 2023 with Tampa, brought them to the playoffs or helped on that journey. But he led Baker Mayfield to a career year as well, as he finished as the quarterback 10 with Dave Canales. That is his only top 10 career finish, and I doubt that he finishes top 10 this upcoming season. Dave Canales is the new head coach in Carolina. If you are not up to date, he has came in and he's changed the culture, and he has made a lot of noise this offseason. They've added multiple offensive weapons. They've improved this offensive line. So what does this mean this year for a guy like Bryce Young, a guy that's going undrafted in almost every single draft on every single platform? Can he end up being that sneaky quarterback this season? Something to look out for. The third thing is that Anthony Richardson is special. Don't let that first preseason game scare you away of whether or not you should draft this special fantasy football talent. Because in 2023, I know he only played about a month, but in that month, he had the most points per snap since 2019, and that quarterback was Lamar Jackson, who went on to be the quarterback 1 and MVP that season. This is a guy in Anthony Richardson that has a great coach. He has a great scheme for fantasy and for real life, and he has so many weapons around him. It is hard to imagine he can't succeed both in the passing and the rushing game. This is a guy that just needs to be healthy. If he's healthy, he's on pace to be one of the greatest ever at the position, as crazy as that might sound. And number 4, Jared Goff is an indoor cat. Hopefully you get that pun there. But throughout his time in Detroit, at home, again, a dome, he's averaging about 21 fantasy points a game. That is elite. But on the road, he's struggling. It's about an 8-point decrease, 13 a game on the road. And that means Jared Goff is about 8.5 points better at home. The NFL average, to me, was surprising, but it's only about 1.7 points per game better for the other 31 quarterbacks. Detroit has 9 home games this year, and they also have 13 total dome games this year, which is where Goff seems to be the most comfortable, and this is a team that's going to contend. So Jared Goff might be a sneaky quarterback to grab as your backup in 2024. Over the last 3 years, some other things to remember. These are the top 3 quarterback finishes on average over that span of time. Josh Allen takes the cake. He has been 1, 2, and 1. You can't get much better than that. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts both are at 4.3. Now, some other things to remember. The percentage of points that came from the rushing stats, right? Jalen Hurts, 40% of his points last year came from the groundwork, and he had a lot of rushing touchdowns. But this year, it should be probably a little bit more balanced. He should go back to airing the ball out a little bit more under Kellen Moore, who's the new offensive coordinator there in Philly. But we know when this team gets to the red zone, that tush push is still going to be very real, and Jalen Hurts is going to steal a lot of touchdowns from Saquon Barkley. For the passing game, Tua Tagovailoa, he led the NFL in passing, but he didn't finish as a quarterback one. So keep that in mind. I brought the Jalen Hurts up, the stat up for a reason. Rushing quarterbacks are great, and they often outperform top passers because Tua wasn't a quarterback one, and 97% of his stats and his fantasy points came from the passing department. So just keep that in mind. Now I want to go through my top 10 quarterbacks as of this time, as of this day, right? These are the guys that are in my top 10. This is what they've gained, and this is what they've lost. And these are, of course, notable pieces. We're not talking about wide receiver 4s and 5s or backup offensive linemen. But that is the top 10. Pause the video if need be. Here is my 11 through 20. Again, some of these rankings might change. I'll have my official list out for you guys next week. But that's going to do it here for today's video. We ran through some key things to remember going into your drafts this year, and also a quick offseason recap of where these quarterbacks and how, well, I guess what their outlook is going into next season. If you enjoyed today's video, drop a like and drop a comment what caught your eye about this video.